Dude,
Yes.
it was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
Hollywood is a place where dreams are created and shattered in the blink of an eye. One moment you're the industry's shining star, admired, praised, unstoppable. And the next you're watching everything collapse because of one impulsive choice. From explosive scandals and career-ending controversies to shocking interviews, public breakdowns, and courtroom chaos, these stories remind us just how delicate fame truly is. In a world where every move is magnified, a single mistake can turn a sparkling Hollywood dream into a devastating downfall. Today, we're counting down the actors who managed to destroy their entire careers in just seconds. Will Smith, the slap that rattled Hollywood. For decades, Will Smith was the embodiment of charm and achievement. From the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to worldwide blockbusters like Men in Black and Independence Day, he was America's beloved superstar. The man who could make you laugh, cry, and celebrate all in a single film. But on the night of the 94th Academy Awards, everything shifted in just seconds. When comedian Chris Rock cracked a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, Will initially chuckled along with the audience. Moments later, he stepped onto the stage and struck Rock across the face. A moment replayed endlessly around the globe. As shock swept through the crowd, Will returned to his seat and shouted, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth!" That outburst instantly became one of the most notorious moments in Oscar history. Although Smith later tearfully apologized during his Best Actor speech for King Richard, critics pointed out that he didn't directly apologize to Rock until the following day. The Academy later confirmed that Will had been asked to leave, but refused. Within a week, he resigned from the Academy and was banned from all Oscar-related events for 10 years. Chris Rock chose not to press charges, but the repercussions were massive. Several of Will's upcoming projects were halted or scrapped, and he became the target of countless late-night jokes. In the years since, he has maintained a lower profile, gradually rebuilding his career. His 2022 film, Emancipation, earned moderate praise, and he has been focusing on family, introspection, and spiritual development. Recently, he has teased new projects and even hinted at Bad Boys 5. But no matter what he accomplishes next, that slap remains a lasting mark on his legacy. Thomas Gibson, the kick that ended a career. For more than a decade, Thomas Gibson was a staple of primetime television. As Aaron H. Hotchner on Criminal Minds, he portrayed the stoic FBI profiler who hunted killers while fiercely protecting his family. Fans respected his intensity and leadership both on-screen and behind the camera, where he directed multiple episodes. For 12 seasons, Gibson remained a consistent presence until one explosive outburst destroyed everything he had built. In August 2016, during a dispute with a writer-producer over a script, Gibson lost his cool and kicked the man in anger. The incident quickly spread throughout Hollywood. At first, he received only a short suspension, but within weeks, ABC Studios and CBS announced his dismissal. Reports then resurfaced about earlier clashes, including a 2010 shoving incident that had already sent him to anger management classes. This time, there was no second chance. Criminal Minds wrote Hotchner out of the series, claiming he entered witness protection to safeguard his son. A quiet ending to a very loud scandal. Since his firing, Gibson has mostly stepped away from the spotlight. He has appeared in a few smaller projects, including the 2020 film Shadow Wolves and an indie comedy, The Writer's Bible. Outside of acting, he has focused on family life and enjoys golfing and photography, occasionally sharing glimpses on social media. Though there has been talk of a Criminal Minds revival, he has not been invited back. For fans who grew up watching him as Hotch, it is a sobering reminder that one moment of lost control can erase years of success, and one kick can end a Hollywood legacy. Megan Fox. From Hollywood's golden girl to outcast, Megan Fox once represented the very definition of an IT girl. Stunning, daring, and seemingly everywhere. Virtually unknown before 2007, her breakout role in Transformers turned her into an overnight global phenomenon. Within months, she was appearing on magazine covers, ruling red carpets, and landing multi-million-dollar endorsement deals. For a brief moment, Megan Fox was the hottest name in Hollywood, until one interview changed everything. In 2009, during a conversation with Wonderland magazine, she was asked about her experience working with director Michael Bay. Instead of offering the typical diplomatic answer, she compared him to Napoleon and even Hitler, describing him as a nightmare on set who thrived on disorder. Though she admitted she liked him personally for being socially awkward, her comments were explosive. Michael Bay was reportedly willing to move past it, but executive producer Steven Spielberg was not. Under his direction, Fox was fired from Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Crew members publicly piled on, labeling her ungrateful and hard to work with. Almost overnight, her public image collapsed. The media branded her a diva, and major studios stopped reaching out. For years, Fox faded from the Hollywood spotlight, taking smaller roles and dedicating time to raising her 3 sons. But by the late 2010s, she began a quiet comeback, speaking candidly about how sexism and objectification had contributed to her downfall. In recent years, she has resurfaced through projects like Till Death and Johnny and Clyde, as well as her highly publicized relationship with musician Machine Gun Kelly. Today, Megan Fox appears more confident than ever, crafting a new identity on her own terms, not as the IT girl of the 2000s, but as a woman reclaiming her own narrative. Jennifer Grey, the nose job that changed everything. In the 1980s, Dirty Dancing wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon. Jennifer Grey's portrayal of Baby alongside Patrick Swayze made her an instant icon. With her natural charm, expressive eyes, and distinctive features, she became one of Hollywood's brightest rising stars and even earned a Golden Globe nomination. But at the height of her fame, one decision would alter her life and career forever. In the early 1990s, encouraged by family members and industry insiders who claimed her slightly imperfect nose was limiting her roles, Jennifer agreed to cosmetic surgery, not once, but twice. The second procedure changed her appearance so drastically that even close friends didn't recognize her. She later called it the nose job from hell. Practically overnight, she went from one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces to someone casting directors barely remembered. The industry moved on, and Grey found herself typecast, overlooked, and ridiculed in tabloids as a cautionary tale of beauty gone wrong. Adding to her struggles, she survived a devastating car accident in Ireland in 1987, just before Dirty Dancing premiered, which left her emotionally shaken for years. Though her career slowed, Jennifer eventually found peace away from the spotlight. She re-emerged in the 2010s with roles in TV shows like Red Oaks and Grey's Anatomy, and even won Dancing with the Stars in 2010. Recently, she has embraced her past, releasing a memoir and developing a Dirty Dancing sequel she is set to star in and produce. Today, Jennifer Grey has reclaimed her narrative, no longer defined by her nose, but by her resilience. Michael Richards, from game show fame to public shame. When beloved host Alex Trebek passed away in 2020, choosing his successor on Jeopardy became one of television's most closely scrutinized decisions. After numerous auditions, longtime executive producer Mike Richards was named the new host, a choice intended to maintain continuity after Trebek's 37 iconic seasons. But what seemed like a career-defining opportunity quickly turned into a disaster. Within days, Richards' past resurfaced, and the internet erupted. Old podcast clips from The Random Show appeared, exposing a pattern of sexist and offensive remarks. He made crude jokes about women, mocked colleagues, and used language critics deemed completely inappropriate for someone representing a family program. Then came reports of lawsuits from his time as executive producer of The Price is Right, where several models alleged harassment and wrongful termination. Although he denied any wrongdoing, the backlash was swift and unforgiving. Richards issued a statement calling his comments a terribly embarrassing misjudgment and publicly apologized. But the apology did little to save his reputation. Within a week, Sony Pictures Television forced him to resign as host and later removed him from his executive producer role entirely. Since his 2021 fall from grace, Mike Richards has largely disappeared from the public eye. He has kept a low profile, avoiding interviews and social media. Industry sources say he has quietly consulted behind the scenes, but no major comeback has materialized. For a man once entrusted with overseeing one of America's most beloved game shows, the lesson was harsh and swift. 1 week of fame undone by years of careless words. Paula Deen, from Southern Sweetheart to canceled overnight. For years, Paula Deen was America's queen of comfort food. The warm, butter-loving chef who turned Southern cooking into a cultural phenomenon. With multiple hit shows on the Food Network, best-selling cookbooks, and a chain of restaurants bearing her name, Deen built a multi-million-dollar empire. Her appeal wasn't just her recipes. It was her personality, her laughter, and her unapologetic love of indulgence. But in 2013, that empire came crashing down amid a controversy that changed everything. It began with a lawsuit from a former employee who accused Deen and her brother of fostering a workplace filled with harassment, discrimination, and racism. The allegations were explosive, but what cemented her downfall was Deen's own testimony. Under oath, she admitted to using racial slurs in the past and even described once imagining a plantation-style wedding with black men dressed as servants. The backlash was immediate and harsh. The Food Network dropped her, sponsors vanished overnight, and major retailers, including Walmart and Target, pulled her products from their shelves. Within weeks, Paula Deen went from one of television's most beloved chefs to a national pariah. In the years since, Deen has worked to rebuild her image. She launched her own YouTube channel, opened Paula Deen's family kitchen restaurants across the South, and made occasional TV appearances. While her reputation never fully recovered, she has cultivated a smaller, loyal fan base online. Today, she remains a polarizing figure, admired by some for her resilience and condemned by others for what her scandal revealed. Cuba Gooding Jr., from Oscar triumph to public disgrace. In 1997, Cuba Gooding Jr. stood on the world's biggest stage, holding his Academy Award for Jerry Maguire and shouting, "Show me the money!" as the audience erupted in cheers. It was pure Hollywood magic, a breakout moment that promised a long and brilliant career. For a time, Gooding seemed unstoppable, starring in hits like Men of Honor and Radio. But decades later, his name became associated not with success, but with scandal and shame. It all began in 2019 when a woman accused Gooding of groping her at a New York bar. He was arrested and charged with forcible touching and sexual abuse. Soon after, dozens of women came forward with similar allegations, claiming he had engaged in unwanted touching and other inappropriate behavior. By October of that year, prosecutors had indicted him on multiple counts tied to separate incidents. The once beloved actor, known for his charisma and heart on screen, now faced headlines of misconduct and betrayal. In 2022, Gooding reached a plea agreement, admitting to 1 count of forcible touching. He avoided jail time but was ordered to complete counseling and adhere to good behavior monitoring. His record would be cleared if he stayed out of trouble, a decision that angered many of his accusers who said it minimized their trauma. Since then, Gooding has largely disappeared from Hollywood. Though he has made a few low-profile appearances, including small independent projects, his reputation remains in ruins. Once a symbol of joy and energy on screen, Cuba Gooding Jr. now serves as a stark reminder of how quickly fame can fade when personal conduct overshadows talent. Armie Hammer, from Hollywood golden boy to scandal outcast, experienced a fall as sudden as it was shocking. After acclaimed performances in The Social Network and Call Me By Your Name, he seemed destined for A-list stardom. He had the looks, charm, and charisma of a leading man. But in early 2021, his public image collapsed when disturbing messages allegedly sent by him surfaced online. The leaked DMs detailed violent sexual fantasies and even referenced cannibalism, sparking widespread outrage. Hammer initially denied the allegations, calling them vicious lies, but soon multiple women came forward with their own stories of abuse and manipulation that mirrored the messages. Within weeks, Hammer lost all major roles, his agency dropped him, and Hollywood turned its back almost overnight. The scandal became so notorious that Discovery Plus released House of Hammer, a docuseries exposing unsettling details about both his behavior and his family's dark history. By 2022, Hammer was reportedly selling timeshares in the Cayman Islands to make a living. While he has largely stayed out of the public eye since, his name remains synonymous with one of Hollywood's most infamous downfalls. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new video. See you in the next one.